Pack. Today it's going to be a pretty short Daryl Dixon review because I don't know. This episode um was pretty small. Not like small in terms of runtime, but like nothing extraordinary happened like last episode. Other than okay. So first off, we find out that Paris, from what we see, all of Paris are using walkers as like weapons of some kind. Because one guy is using them to like play instruments. Another guy, or the main bad guys, are using them to create spazzers, which is what I'm gonna call them, even if people try to correct me. I'm calling them spazzers. So yeah, and then we get a returning face, which wasn't surprising at all, to be honest. I knew this guy was gonna come back because he didn't die. But the blonde nun's boyfriend, I think boyfriend, came back from the dead, or came back as like a bartender, and then started talking about how he was gonna abuse the blonde nun. The blonde nun, for some reason, gets pissed at Daryl, which I always hate this fucking concept. Like, oh, because you're upset at another person, means that you're upset at this person. That's not exactly how stuff works. And if you want to be so big bad, then okay, you don't need me. But then we actually find out that Laurent is the bartender's son, because apparently he was like cheating on, I think her name is Amy. I think the blonde nun's name is Amy. I don't remember exactly, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to use Amy from now on to refer to the blonde nun. So the bartender was cheating on Amy and then had Laurent. And Daryl actually brings up a good point later on in the episode that Laurent might not even be immune, which, again, that's a possibility that he just got really lucky. But that's coming from, but him just being lucky comes from a person that kind of abandoned God because of his shit life and all of that. So it's like, could Laurent be immune? Is he immune? Or did he just get really lucky? Or was there a miracle that happened? Who knows? Who knows the Scientology of all of this? Even though this show leans towards the more, the more religious side. We gotta use science more than religion to figure out this. Also, this episode, or this show, might go downhill for a lot of people because, so basically there was drag queens in the show, which, like, yeah, that's fine. That wasn't a big deal, honestly. It was like a nightclub type thing in the catacombs, I think it's called, in Paris. The tunnels led to a nightclub, and like the main singer was like a drag queen, and like that's fine. That's fine. That's not a big deal for me. But I can see a lot of people being like, okay, this show is gonna take a turn. And then when I started seeing like Laurent be weirdly interested in like the singing and everything and all the drag queens and like stuff like that, I was like, oh no. Oh no, people are gonna complain. People are gonna be like, oh my god, that means Laurent's gonna be trans. Like they're gonna cry and moan about this one little thing. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it definitely came off like Laurent was, I don't know, idolizing the drag queen. But then again, he was locked up for all of his life and he probably never seen anything like that. So I wouldn't blame him if he was like fascinated by all this, because realistically, how often are nuns gonna have a party? Very little. So I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe I'm just making a bunch of assumptions based off of what I've seen in the past couple of years on the internet. But it's whatever. If he does come out to be, you know, trans, I wouldn't care personally, because it's just like, trans people exist. But I know that the show will probably be called the worst piece of shit ever, even though you guys were enjoying it. The first half of the season was completely fine, but then now, because of this one thing, you guys are like calling it the worst piece of shit ever, even though the ratings were completely fine. But then again, that hasn't happened yet, so yeah, I hope it doesn't. I hope that people are genuinely chill with Laurent potentially being trans. And I'm not saying that you should get surgery for kids that are trans, because that's a permanent change for something that could possibly be shit, what's the word? That's like a permanent change for something that could be temporary. And I'm not saying all trans people are just going through a phase. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you should probably wait until you're really, really sure that you are trans to get surgery. And that goes double for children, because children, they go through a bunch of phases. And sometimes that could lead to a feeling like trans phase. And whether or not it's a phase, who knows? You can never determine except yourself. But yeah. So Laurent could be trans, could be not. I wouldn't really care either way. He does have long hair, which that could just be a design choice, because he's supposed to be Daryl's surrogate son. So it's like long hair. Yeah. But yeah, that was my review. Overall, this episode was good. All of the episodes are good, just some aren't as exciting as others, which is okay. You're always going to have that in a show. You're always going to have really, really high episodes, like, oh my god, this is amazing, and then you're going to have low episodes where it's like, oh, okay, it was okay, but it wasn't as exciting. So yeah, that's what this episode was. It was like a low point, because you kind of got everything you needed to like start setting up for the big bad Um, yeah, there's nothing else I can really think about that happened big. Yeah. So that was it. I know I already said that was it. I promise I'm not stalling. I don't make any money off of my videos, so making a video 10 minutes wouldn't do anything for me. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, then like it. And if you like my content, please subscribe, because we're trying to end up being one of those YouTubers that are like iconic and stuff. But yeah, anyway, see you guys later. Bye.